Good afternoon. We are on Wednesday, January 21st. Today's goal is I can explain how children need more fat than adults using my article. Your agenda is simple. We're doing pages 100 through 101. In our bell work, we have a question of looking at Liz's growth chart for weight, not height. How would you describe her weight gain? So I have a fantastic graph by month. So this is her weight, 8.5 pounds at birth. And then you can see it goes by month, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. And it goes all the way to 12 months. Looking out, you could see that she starts in the 25th to 75th percentile, but drops down to the 2nd to 25th percentile. And she still gains in weight, so it's okay. But you can tell that we have a very interesting pattern, and today she is still in the 10th percentile for weight. So as we write it up, Liz started out in the 25th to 75th percentile, then dropped down to the 2nd to 25th percentile. However, she continued to gain weight. All right, make sure you are gluing in pages 100 through 101 in your notebook. In our article, you are to highlight and annotate. As you know, we need to eat to stay alive. Food is made of different types of molecules, mostly fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. Scientists have studied how our body uses fats, carbohydrates, and proteins in order to make diet recommendations to help people stay healthy. A recent study asked, do children use food in the same way that adults do? To answer this question, the scientists received help from 10 healthy children and 10 healthy adults. So here's our study. All participants in the study ate the same balanced diet for 3 days, while scientists carefully measured the rate at which they burned fat molecules. So they had a balanced diet for 3 days, and they were measuring how much fat was burned. Okay, when you put your hands on your cheek, you can feel how warm that is. You can tell that your body is burning fat and sugars right now, and you can feel how warm that is. And what happens when you run the mile? Your cheeks get hotter, warmer, and you can have evidence that your cells are burning more fat and sugar. So here's our study. The results showed that children who were on average 8 years old burned more fat each day compared to adults. So here are results. So kids burn more fat. No surprise there. The scientists believe that children need to burn more fat to produce the energy they need to support development such as bone growth and muscle growth. So we're going to say why kids need fat. So reason kids need more fat in their diets because they burn more fat than adults. Makes sense. The recommendation for adults is to get 20 to 35% of their daily calories from fat. For teenagers and children older than 3, it is 25 to 35%. And for babies and toddlers, the recommendation is to get 30 to 40% of daily calories from fat, which is even more. Very young children need to eat even more fat because they are growing at such a fast rate. So I'm going to highlight for adults to get that much. Children older than 3 and babies and toddlers need 30 to 40% of their calories from fat. So it goes in the order where adults, and then we have kids 3+, which includes you, and babies and toddlers. and the amount of fat increases in what you need. All right, going back to the article. The scientists stress that although fat is important for a child's diet, the study results should not be interpreted as meaning that children can eat as much fat in their diet as they like. Children should not eat too much junk food, especially junk food containing a lot of sugar, which can lead to unhealthy weight gain. So examples would be chocolate, and I'm talking about milk chocolate with a lot of added sugar and fat. Very unhealthy. And you can also think of ice cream. Lots of fat, lots of sugar, very unhealthy. And that will make you gain weight. All right, for our questions on page 101. Question 1. According to the article, how do adults and children use fat differently? Which age group needs more fat? Hopefully you said kids need more fat. And why? Children use fat for development of muscles and bones. Adults use fat primarily for energy. We're not using it for development. And yes, kids need more fat than adults. Number 2, how did that affect the recommendations for the amount of fat in a person's diet? I'm just gonna go back to this flow chart. They recommend babies and toddlers to get the most fat, followed by older kids. Adults should get less fat in their diet, but we still need fat. Fat's very important for us for energy. Number 3, what did the researchers find with children who were 8 years old on average? Kids burn more fat than adults. Number 4, what do you think they meant by burn? Used up, or all the fat's being absorbed, but mostly it is, you can feel it in your cheeks. Remember that heat energy? It's being used up in that fat, and as a result, that heat energy is released. Number 5, do you think they could mean really like burn, like when you light something on fire? No. You cannot have flames inside your body. Typo. All right, that concludes today's lesson. Have a good afternoon.